In the dry heat of a remote and forgotten land, 4 men toiled under the cruel yoke of slavery. Taken from their homes in a sudden raid, they were sold into bondage to a ruthless slave master named Garin, an unforgiving man who valued profit far above the lives of those who earned it for him. The days were long, the sun unrelenting. From the moment dawn broke until the stars rained overhead, the 4 men, Kofi, Juba, Mika, and Daro, worked tirelessly in Garin's stone quarry. Their hands were raw, backs bent under the weight of stones, and their stomachs gnawed with hunger more days than not. Beatings were regular, rest was a distant dream. Among them, Kofi was different. While his body weakened like the others, his spirit burned with quiet fire. Faith was his anchor. From the moment they were captured, he whispered prayers in the night, sometimes silently mouthing scripture he remembered from his childhood. Even when there was no reason to hope, Kofi believed that one day they would be free. But his brothers in chains, Juba, the realist, Mika, the quiet thinker, and Daro, the one whose laughter had long since died, couldn't share in his vision. They had seen too much cruelty. Their dreams had withered in the dust. "There is no way out, Kofi," Daro would mutter. "Look around. We are surrounded by guards. The jungle beyond is death. Hope is poison." But Kofi wouldn't yield. "Hope," he would reply, "is the only thing that hasn't been taken from us." He began to watch, not just the routines of the guards, but the guards themselves. He noticed something most others did not. Many of them weren't there by choice. Some of the prison officers were low-paid men forced into brutal service under Garin's control. They too wore invisible chains. One evening, while watering himself at a nearby well under the eye of Officer Lin, Kofi spoke gently. "Brother, do you think you are free?" The officer scoffed. "Freer than you. But look at you. You wear a uniform, yet you sleep on the same hard cots we do. You bleed when he beats you for showing mercy. And your family? When was the last time you saw them?" Lin froze. Kofi could see the flicker of pain in his eyes. "Garin makes riches off our backs," Kofi continued, "and he throws you scraps. You are not his man. You are his tool." At first, Lin threatened to strike him, but the words haunted him. Over time, more guards overheard Kofi's quiet wisdom. Some were angered, thinking he was stirring rebellion. But others, especially 2 officers named Renzo and Harad, began to seek him out in secret. By moonlight, they'd meet by the water trough or near the supply tents, listening as Kofi spoke of freedom, of dignity, of a better life outside the compound. "I don't want to die in chains," Harad confessed one night. "Then live like a free man," Kofi urged. "But freedom begins in the mind. If you don't believe it's possible, then it never will be." Harad and Renzo were inspired. They crafted a plan, but they made Kofi swear not to speak of it to the other slaves. "If word spreads, it'll collapse. We can only take one for now. You." Kofi's heart ached. He wanted to take Juba, Mika, and Daro, but fear still held them tightly. They didn't believe. Trying to involve them would risk everything. He prayed for strength, and then said yes. One stormy night, under the cover of rain and thunder, Harad and Renzo slipped Kofi out through a broken part of the eastern fence. They had stolen a transport cart, stashed supplies, and disguised Kofi in a guard's cloak. As the compound slept under heavy guard, one man walked free. Freedom didn't taste sweet immediately. It was strange. It was uncertain. but it was real. Kofi cried as the wheels turned beneath him, away from the land that had once broken him. When Garen discovered the escape, rage consumed him. Harad and Renzo were never found. Garen brought in new officers, cold men without mercy, loyal only to coin and cruelty. He tightened security, starved the slaves further, punished the innocent for the actions of the brave. The remaining slaves began to despair even more. But something had changed. Rumors spread. Whispers of Kofi's escape drifted through the camp like a breeze. Some dismissed it, but others, quietly, began to wonder. Juba, Mika, and Daro were among them. At first, they were furious, feeling betrayed. But over time, they began to remember Kofi's words, his unwavering faith, his relentless hope. Slowly, their hearts began to stir. Meanwhile, Kofi, now in a nearby town, worked with an underground network that helped free laborers and fugitives from places like Garen's compound. He never forgot his friends. Every day he planned, he trained, he waited. One day he would return, not in chains, but in strength. Moral of the story: faith is not blindness. It's the ability to see light when all around is darkness. Even in chains, Kofi believed. His belief didn't just free him, it planted seeds of hope in those around him. True freedom begins in the mind, grows in the heart, and blossoms through courage. No matter your prison, whether physical, mental, or emotional, never underestimate the power of hope and the strength of one inspired soul. Chains may bind the body, but never the spirit that refuses to give up.